Happening, we're back. It's Nan's Kitchen Podcast. Back again, of course. It's John, and I've got our kid back on again. So, you know the score. It's conspiracy time, but this time it's not. It's more not conspiracy. It's more factual, and we're going to talk about ancient medicines and medical methodologies. So, basically, medicines that were used back then and how they used them. That's just what we're going to talk about, and we're going to touch on a few different things throughout history. But it's going to be, I think it'll be interesting. Personally, I thought it was interesting when I was putting it together the other night anyway. Yeah,
it does sound interesting.
It is interesting. Like, you actually see a lot of little things that you didn't. Well, honestly, it opened my eyes, and I knew I thought I knew a bit about history and old medicines and ancient ritual, should we say. But no, yeah, this opened my eyes to a few little extra things that I didn't know about. So we're going to start on that today. I was going to start on another mad story, which about what happened with that fella before. I've just been on a job coming off the bridge on the canal, and some fellas now getting filled in by two fellas for absolutely nothing whatsoever.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, lads.
What happened there?
Oh lads, the end of so I'm just coming off the bridge. I've sprinted.
By yours?
Yeah, I'm finishing my job. Usually I jog back up the street. And I just seen a little bit of madness going on in the left of my eye on the bridge, and I thought I'm just going to start walking here and get first row seats for a bit of beef. Do you know what I mean? Goes off, I'll watch it. It gets a bit much, I'll intervene. This fella, whatever, bit of a kerfuffle went off, and then they went separate ways. So I'm jogging. This fella with his dog started talking to me, but I've had my earphones, so I've stopped him. What are you saying, mate? And he's just started going on saying he's just been with them chilling. He knew his brother or something, so he was having a pint with them. And then about 40 minutes later, the kid's brother, so not the lad he knew, his brother started being weird with him, or you can't come this way, now you best walk the other way, I'm going to fill you in, all my shit.
Oh, like sausage behaviour.
Oh, the helmet behaviour. And I'm just like thinking, but I can't hear on this, I've got my headphones in stuff. Right. So I'm waiting for him to tell me, so he's told me this afterwards, but at first I was just thinking, after this goes off in front of me, I'm just going to have to like intervene. Kid, like I don't know the story. I'm not going to start banging kids out and that, but I would stop them on a day, like relax.
Yeah.
But
were he pissed?
Well, not what I'm saying. One of them, no, I wouldn't say pissed.
They had a few. They definitely had a baby.
The other fellow only had 1 pint. He was walking.
Yeah.
But he started going bad. Obviously, get back up to ours. My mate's waiting by ours because we were gonna come here and then do the podcast, lad. And then you've been coming, so I've been like 10 minutes. He's not even come my direction. He was meant to do it right by the bridge. Instead, he's followed me all the way up. And then he was like, oh, thanks for that, mate. I really needed that. Shook me hands. And he just needed to get it off his chest.
Yeah, man, yeah. Nice that, though.
But it was just heavy. I was just sitting there thinking, oh, this poor
fella. Did it not end up scrapping then, no?
No, not happens. Right. No beef.
Nice that. Only saved today.
You'd rather have that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was just a bit more madness that was going on. I just couldn't believe it.
You run up, though?
It did, yeah. I mean, I like to sprint at the end.
Yeah, the last bit, just get it all out of you.
Just fucking have me talking shit for a bit.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying that now.
It is what it is. But there's a few bleeps that are going to have to happen in this episode as well now.
Yeah, definitely. You're only like not even 5 minutes in.
Definitely dropped a few F-bombs there without meaning it. Oh well. We're going to move on to the episode anyway, guys. So I thought we'd start with that. I don't know, it's still a bit of a weird
story. News to my ears anyway. I remember you saying you were chatting to some stranger for 10 minutes or something when I was leaving.
Just a bit of a weird situation. That just happens. It's brutal for you, I suppose.
Funny,
just literally brutal for you.
You can't come this way, lad.
You're not allowed this way.
See that line there? You can't cross that.
It was like, honest to God, it was probably like you own the street. But yeah.
Funny that.
Less of the nonsense. Well, I got on to the actual stuff, the legitimate part of the episode, which I'm interested in. So, first of all, I'm just going to let you know where the information's from, because I'm not having people pointing the finger at me saying, and it's all been cited by multiple people. I think it said 100 plus people have cited this, which means that it's proven, been put on the papers, certified information. So originally the references where I got this from is Stamets 2014. So if you have a little searching on and type ancient medicines and type his name in, it'll come up and you'll be able to find the publication and read the full document yourself. But this is a little bit of I found interesting and I took from it, which I didn't know about. So I thought that would touch on this and try and, teach us a few little things, hopefully.
Bit of history.
Hopefully it's we're gonna do it funnily though. So
I was thinking it was even mad. I'd imagine like medicine first coming about. Like imagine me like however long medicine's been about. Imagine me first coming over to you, but the first thing to help you with your fucking headache or a cough. Know what I mean?
Speaking to some of that stuff, man.
Imagine getting you. How am I going to get you to take it? Nah.
But you just believe, you just trust them, don't you? Like you trust doctors. Do you know what I mean?
You got a cough, lad? Take this.
I'd say it like.
Would you know?
It depends who the person is, doesn't it? Like it depends. It really does. I know what you're saying. But we'll start it with this is where you're gonna know what type of stuff we use.
I can just imagine like.
So if when I tell you this, you're gonna be like, maybe no, maybe I wouldn't take it. Like this stuff, it's just a bit mad.
I can just imagine people like back in the day on horses and that, no crossing paths and someone. Oh, you got a cough, mate? Something out his bag. Have a go with that. Be like, fuck off.
Decent dish, you know, lad. Pure mushrooms, straight from.
Go on, then you take it.
Heavy bark, this lad. Pure 100% organic bark and mushroom, like get that in you, lad.
So we took and ended up tripping all the way home.
Fucking sound, man. Free drugs, man. Natural drugs, motherfuckers. We've already got a clip, man. Fucking hell. I haven't even started the episode yet. Anyhow, back to what I was trying to say. We're trying to get serious. It's hard to be serious with our kid because we just make jokes all the time. But my serious face is on. Little deep breath, you know what I'm saying? I want to speak like a serious person here. Someone just tried to say, you can't take me serious with my accent. Well, unfortunately, mate, sorry, but it is what it is. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more professional for him here. So,
you start pronouncing your words properly and all that.
To the pharmaceutical age, mushrooms have long been used by various cultures. Now I'm only messing.
Yeah,
don't do that, lad. Imagine that.
I was going through me, that. I was going to be sick.
People would be like, oh, mad. But yeah, so
that was weird.
Modern science has only recently rediscovered what the ancients knew a long time ago, basically, and what the ancients knew a long time ago was that mushrooms withhold very powerful medicine. A lot of it, all different types, different variations, can do different things for different things.
There's loads of different types of mushrooms, isn't there?
Lad, there's so much into it, that's actually crazy. So the first part we're going to touch into, again, I've written a little script for myself, that's how fucking legit I've got. But our ancestors have used mushrooms as medicine for thousands of years. The Greek physician Hippocrates classified the amandu, I'm going to say amandu mushroom, I'm going to go with that, as a potent anti-inflammatory, and I also used it for cauterizing wounds. So imagine back in the day, you just got fucking gassed in the middle of a beef, lad, you know what I mean? You've had war.
Man's just been slashed.
Not just say it's been like, this is ancient days, you're talking shields and fucking swords.
Yeah.
You're out about to war, had a bit of a beef, lad, someone stabbed you, lad, you go back, and then my man will just fill your arm in with all these mushrooms and that, and like heal your wounds. You'll probably be tripping balls. Absolutely tripping balls.
How'd you feel?
Fucking sound, you know, lads.
Feel great, man.
These colours. I did that thing again last night.
Right.
When I sipped out again and seen the colour spectrum, I started seeing it for a little bit. I seen faces at first, all mad weird faces, and I didn't like them. They were like, they looking so hard to get past that. I got past that. I got past it, and I started seeing like nicer things, like different colours. But I was like, this purple colour kept catching me, and I was trying to draw into it, but going this way, and then I was trying to stare at it, but your eyes are closed, you're trying to focus in on it, and then it goes out, you're like, your vision, you can't get that far. But with your eyes going up so far,
yeah.
I couldn't get.
And you're trying to catch it, it fades away.
I had it for about 60 seconds. I was gutted. I couldn't get back there, man.
What was you doing? Just sitting there?
Yeah, just in a mad state of thinking about stuff. But like, then you've got to like focus in on it. Like, you can't completely fully shut your eyes. It's got to be like you just close them to relax them, but they're closed, and you're trying to like relax the state of mind you're in. And then you start seeing something like that, and then you've just got to go for it. Like, you can't just be scared. If you start seeing scatty things, you can't be asked. You've got to follow it, and you've got to like then zone in on that one thing that's in your mind. As soon as you zone in, like, you start seeing other things, and then like, as I said, you start seeing the kaleidoscope of colours, and then further from that, you go to the next step. The next step was like, big mad pungent colours.
Scatty.
Lad, it's actually boss.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sounds like you're on some opening some third eye shit there.
I don't know what I'm doing, bro, but that's the second time I've done it within the space of 6 weeks. So I'm onto something. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm seeing things, and it's fucking boss.
Seeing colours and shapes and
lights. If I could do it for longer, I'd continue. Yeah, honestly, but I think I might get lost. If that makes sense. Like, in my own mind. Like, I'm not happy when I see it and I can't get further into it. I'm like, oh, I feel like I've let myself down here. But because like it's
Mad, though.
you want to experience it more. Like.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's mad. I think it's like being on something without being on something, and I've like mastered how to do it in my own mind. But I haven't yet. I'm beginning. I'm like I went from beginner to amateur. I've done it twice now. You know what I mean? So I'm mediocre. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it
Scatty
is.
all that, lad.
What it is, but it's
I was just thinking you sitting there going, no. I'm
not doing no weird noises. I'm just
try that though, maybe that.
Oh, fuck off! Can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's the only way I'm going to sleep.
Might help you, lad.
But back to the mushrooms, and you know the truth behind mushrooms, not my weird fucking dreams that feel like I'm on mushrooms. The Alchemist, Tao, it's either Tao or Tao. Tao Hongjing, I'm going to say, from the 5th century, describes several medical mushrooms, including the Ling Zai and the Zhu. I'm going to say Zhu Ling or the what would I because with the Z and the H and the U, things are pronounced. I'm going to say the Zhu, the C, the Zihu or the Zhu. I'm going to say Zhu Ling. Zihu Ling. It all sounds better.
ZHU Ling.
Listen, I'm trying to pronounce fucking
craziness here.
I think it's Chinese. It's either Chinese or I think it's Chinese. I don't know. It could be Mandarin. It's Mandarin. It's a different language to mine anyway. So I'm trying to pronounce something else, but I'm going to read that sentence again. So, from the 5th century, he found several mushrooms, medical mushrooms, including the Ling Zi or Zai and the Zhu Ling, and some of these reportedly were used many centuries before by Sheng Nong, which is another an ancient empire back in Chinese war days and when they had like samurais and stuff like that.
Oh, that madness.
Again, I don't know whether it could be pure being horrible here, because I'm sure Japanese is.
Could be right, yeah.
Samurais. But,
I think you're right, yeah.
But
I know what you mean. Back in the day,
I'm not trying to misculture here, but I mean, it literally says it was in the 5th century. So back then, when it was bare time ago. So I'm not exactly
fighting
sure.
with swords and shields anyway.
The language, but it's just a place and a name for a mushroom. So and I thought I'd done all right with it pronouncing anyway, because it's not English. I don't know Mandarin or.
I think you got it spot on. I think you got it right, lad.
I'll take that then. So yeah, so they reckon many centuries before it was used by a fella called. He's got a fucking little thing over his name. Yeah, Otzi.
Ozil.
That's right. That's what I seen at first.
That's what I kept looking at when you got it up.
And so this fella was known as the Iceman.
Could be Utsi or something. Utsi. I don't know.
Take one of his. I think he's.
Could be one of them.
But yet this fella was known as the Iceman, and basically he lived nearly 5,300 years ago, so 5,300 years ago, and he used to carry around with him a madu mushroom, and he'd also carry around the birch polypore feathered into a pouch. So he had mushroom and birch polypore feather in a pouch, and the reason he done this is it helped him climb the Alps, or survive mapping around the Alps in northern Italy. And this is 5,500 years ago nearly, and this fella just used 2 bits of things that you could find naturally, bit of something from a tree, and
that'd have been literally to keep him warm, wouldn't it? Really, like to keep him going.
In the pouch, it was his medication.
What, just carrying it?
You just had it on him, yeah. That's when you can use it. Don't eat mushrooms, fill your wounds with it. Like, it was used for all sorts of. That's what I'm saying. The only 2 things he carried with him in that pouch was medical was them 2 things. That's all he said. That's all he needed to get himself through. Like, do you understand how fucking hard? Like, it's freezing back there.
I was gonna say, yeah,
freezing, lad.
Up in them Alps, lad, it's cold.
Freezing. But yeah, moving on to the next part, they've got the first people of North America used puffball mushrooms to heal wounds. So humans that had used plants years ago. So any human that could physically get access to plants and fungi, so mushrooms, they used them as medicines, and they were able to survive diseases that plagued our world. So a lot of people outlived. So like you see, like in the Amazon rainforest, for instance, there's generations and generations of tribes that have lived there hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
How do you think they've outlived it? Because they use the natural resources that are around them. They understand what's grown from the ground. They know what to use it for. We haven't got that knowledge. You can get that knowledge by trying to learn off the internet or speaking to someone who's been there, but you only get that knowledge by putting the time and effort into it. You don't just,
that's not given to you.
We're not born with that unless you're born in an environment. So it's actually really eye-opening to see at the moment, to be fair, the amount of things that are actually changing. And recently, I'm going to move on to a little part here where it's actually quite I think it's quite interesting anyway, because only recently have modern science started to incorporate and develop medicines with using forms of natural products with like mushrooms and stuff like that, because thousands and thousands of years ago, these were the natural organic forms of medicine. So we're going to take a little trip back to the Egyptian times now with this next part. So this next part of information is referenced, and where I got it from, it's MetWally 2021, and it's medicines and methodologies about like 8, I think it's just called Medicines in Ancient Egypt. Again, type the name in, type the year, type the title, and they'll bring the paper up. You can read into the paper. This has also been cited by a lot of people. So again, it's trusted information. You can go off what we've read, and you can find it all on the internet. You can go back into history books and you'll find it. It's legit information. So I really found this fascinating, this next part. So we're going to move on from funguses, mushrooms, to another form of ancient medicine. Now, this ancient medicine, to me, blew my mind, because I didn't even realise that this is where certain products made from. So the next medicine's bark of the willow tree. I know this contains one of the oldest forms of medical remedies in human history, and its modern form is what we know it as, is aspirin. So the key ingredient to aspirin is bark of a willow tree. Now, 3,500...
What's that? Just like the outer bit? Just a bit of that?
The bark, yeah. And like must be like the white bit on the inside of the bark.
Right,
the bark of the willow tree, yeah. So this is 3,500 years ago, 3,500 years ago. You're talking about like 1600s, the 17th century?
Which?
1600s, it will be, wouldn't it? For 3,500. What am I on about, lad?
No.
Fucking hell, it'd be BC.
That's what I was thinking,
It'd be
before that.
AD. Wait there, what's AD?
Oh, I don't know. I get mixed up with the BCs and the ADs. That's what I'm lost. It was before.
It
was before our 2023 years, I think.
Yeah, it was well before we had actual years. So
before the clock started.
Yeah, well before we had anything.
So 3,500 years ago, before the clock started.
Before we even had a time, a fucking. Do you know what I mean?
Before we knew what a clock was.
Actually, though, that's actually mad. Before we knew what a clock was.
I stopped paying attention to school when it comes to that ACBC, all that DC shit. I was like, nah, you lost me, girl.
I've just had a stupid moment.
I've just named a band.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have, yeah.
ACDCBC.
It's a new one. That's the BTEC ADCC. ACDC. Fucking hell, I can get the word out. That's a tongue twister, that.
ACDCBC.
I can't believe I've just made up a mathematical error. I thought it said 300. I'm trying to make 350 years.
I'm thinking then, John, you've lost me there.
Over the 16th century. That's not that long ago. And then I was like, oh my god, no, 3,500 years ago. It was before time, mate. It's before Christ, I think.
Is it, yeah?
BC, yeah. Before Christ.
We have to look into that.
Because after Christ is when the years began, I think.
Is that the internet?
Yeah. Google it, man. Fucking Google it in front of us. Why are we even contemplating? I was gonna go. What?
It's not good. It's not working.
Oh, mate, it's because this stupid pop-up popped up. Go away,
Mr. Pop-up.
No thanks.
No thanks. We don't want you.
Get out of my face.
Oh my God. Not another one.
All right, I get it. Go away. So back to this. So I go. Difference. I can't even spell between.
Difference.
AD and BC. Listen, lad, it's fucking the same thing. So years that come before Christ are designated as AD. So I know Damina, I fucking knows if we've pronounced that right. While years before the birth of Christ are known as designated as before Christ BC. So AD is 2001 is AD. So I was right. BC is before the year 1. I fucking told you.
Go ahead, kid. Boom, brownie points.
Knowledge. I know stuff. So basically, before Christ was born, so 1,500 years before Christ was here.
Before our kid.
Before the fucking Bible was created. The ancient